Froggy Forecasting, How Frog Health Predicts Pond Health. Introduction. Frog populations have been declining worldwide at unparalleled rates. Nearly 1/3 of the world's amphibians are threatened with extinction. Amphibian populations are faced with an array of environmental problems, including pollution, infectious disease, habitat loss, invasive species, climate change, and overharvesting for the pet and food trades.
We had expected, because of patterns around the world, that frogs might be going extinct in the ACT. We know we've lost 3 species in the last 30 or 40 years, and we were concerned about that.
The results were a pleasant surprise.
The overwhelming message from our research that we've just published is that that's not the case, and that frog populations in the ACT are actually doing much better than we thought. In fact, half of the species that we analysed are actually increasing in the ACT.
Now you may be asking, why is this a concern? The frog populations are diminishing, and this is due to poor pond health. If a pond is green, it's most likely due to algal growth. The growth of algae can kill tadpoles as the water becomes deoxygenated. Frogs become malformed or deformed due to poor pond health. The less frogs in the pond, the less likely it is that scientists will be able to identify the problem with a pond. How does this impact biogeochemical cycling? Frogs are vital parts of the food chain. They consume crickets, which consume marsh grass, making frogs the secondary consumers. Without a healthy pond, frogs will die off. Therefore, crickets will overproduce, for there is nothing to consume them. The imbalance in the cycle can throw off the entire food chain. Below pictured is the cricket eating the marsh grass, the frog eating the cricket, the snake eating the frog, and the hawk eating the snake. Are these effects reversible? Some of the effects can change the genes. Then, malformations, meaning bad formations, like the failure to form a leg, can occur. These malformations can arise at any stage in the frog's development, but are most visible to people after the frog has gone through a dramatic process called metamorphosis. The malformations can arise at anywhere in the development process, going from fins to feet, gills to lungs, from tail to tailless, from long intestines to short, from prey eyes to predator eyes, due to the environmental changes that the frog cells experienced very early on in their development. Most of the effects are on the frogs themselves and cannot be reversed.
It's rare that a Frogwatch volunteer ever gets to actually see the frogs they're monitoring, with most of the action happening after sunset and in the dark when the frogs are at their most active. Instead, they listen and count the number of different calls that they hear.
In this particular site, we've got what are known as the ratchet frog, because that's what the call sounds like, the machine gun frog, the quacking frog, the maniacal cackler.
What can be done to prevent or preserve it? Changes such as increased ultraviolet light, pesticides or other chemicals, or parasites can all contribute to errors in the frog's early development. Some of the effects are caused by humans, but some occur naturally. We can protect the frogs by keeping them in a clean, safe environment. Is there an impact on biodiversity? Without frogs' health determining pond health, many of the other species in the pond can find themselves in a habitat that is no longer suitable to their needs. If a frog species dies or becomes deformed, it cannot do its part in the food chain, also throwing off the entire system. What kind of new technology is being developed or already developed to reduce the impact? There are a variety of ways to keep ponds healthy and frogs happy. Maryland Department of the Environment has a system to track algal blooms, therefore protect the frogs and other aquatic creatures from harm. This is beneficial because it tells scientists when the water is about to become deoxygenated.